in my hometown, Park City, Utah. Things are usually pretty quiet and easygoing due to it being the so-called #1 ski town on Earth by about 15 different ski magazines. Not much happens other than the Sundance Film Festival and ski season. I'm telling you this to give you some backstory and let you realize that nothing paranormal or odd happens here or to any of its people. A few months ago, I started sleeping more. This is because I'm still a teenager and I'm probably still growing. When I say sleeping more, I mean a lot more. My daily routine is usually school, eating, food, then sleeping until the next morning, which I would later come to find that this is very unhealthy physiologically. This whole sleeping thing seems irrelevant, but I'll get to it shortly. A dream is defined as a series of thought, images, and sensations occurring in a person's mind during sleeping. The dreams I started having were more defined as an event or an occurrence. What I mean by this is that they would start to become real, and I started to believe that they were real. Some days I would think back to something believing that if it was real, and I wouldn't even realize that it was a dream. And then the dreams got violent. Some nights I would wake up from screams or loud noises echoing through my spine and seemingly my house. I would always assume that they were just nightmares and I would go back to sleep, but they just kept coming back. I started losing sleep and doing whatever I could to get out of having to go to bed. It got to a point where I would even take extra assignments at school so I could be doing something that would keep me awake. One particular afternoon, I was sitting at my dining room table doing some physics homework when I heard a knock on the door. I got up and walked over to the door to see who was there, as normal human beings do, and no one was at the door. I shut the door assuming that it was just some grade schooler playing a trick. Then I turned from my door and walked back to the table, and I saw my mom standing in the mudroom, looking at me with a puzzled face. "Was someone there?" she said. "No, it was just a doorbell ditcher," I replied. "Well, don't doorbell ditchers usually ring the doorbell or knock?" "Yeah, they did knock." As soon as I finished my sentence, I heard my alarm clock go off, and I woke up in my bed. I was very confused because I was positive the conversation I had with my mom was real. As I sat up from my bed, I realized that I was dreaming. I couldn't feel any part of my body, and everything felt cold and lifeless, as it usually does in a dream. My body laid back down in bed, fell asleep, and once more I heard my alarm clock go off, and I woke up in bed, still dreaming. There's only one way I can think of getting out of this hell.